Rockstar coming at you with another game, a hardcore Minecraft. We're here on day 821. Say hello to Garuda and Wally, everybody. But we're gonna work on our boat. I mean, eventually. You can't see it from here, which is good, because it won't look right. You know, I should stop being negative about it. One day it may be good. Oh, we left the house with a record. Alright, this is a big no-no. We gotta bring it back. Alright, now. Now we can leave. Because really we didn't do any work at all on the boat. Except for, you know, getting it drafted down, you know, and it really should have a flat base there probably. You know, we'll work on it. But right, so I was gonna do like a bireme, like a Phoenician sort of galley thing, you know, real, you know, 300s BC type of thing, and then it's just not gonna look good. Also, it's already too big. Like, it's only supposed to be like a meter into the water. So I think that if we just make the ship a different way, the boat, it's not big enough to be a ship. Also, it doesn't exist right now, so it's neither of them. But anyway, so that's what I've been thinking a lot about in between not playing the game and playing it. And then I've also been thinking, well, wouldn't this be a good time to dig through here and connect this? But really, if I did that, it would just, you know, be to stall for a huge amount of time. You know, why don't we just start? I've dug a very big canal before. This will be different. But yeah, we'll just dig some, and while we dig, we can think about the implications of our choices. Because all we have to do is shoot through here, and if there was water instead, I mean, totally desirable, right? Now we'll need to leave a lot of the center and the walls as they are, right? Which might be a little jarring, but look, this is a hilariously out of scale project to what I said I was gonna do when I started. That's okay. Because if you think about it, it won't work if you think about it, but if you think about it, this is exactly the sort of behavior that's needed to build boats. Because, like, ultimately, when we connect this to the canal system of the Great Canal, you know, we make the boat more reasonable. Anyway, back to intently thinking about boats while we dig. Where do we put these? There? Yeah, sure. The destruction of flowers. That's also, like, part of thinking about boats. Look, y'all know me. I just love water. I think it's good. I'm for it. And also, we weren't using this space for anything. It was cool that there was, you know, like a valley, but ultimately, I feel like it has always been the dream to make a weird, massive project of cutting through the land here. The good news is, if we leave it half done like this, it's still okay. So once the grass grows again, you'll barely be able to tell that I started doing something and then ran out of space Alright, what we want to do here, we need some wood so we can get a box of dirt. This is very important. Very important indeed. I mean, like, we can use this box, which is probably mostly dirt, but we're ultimately going to need our own box of dirt for this project. Mostly dirt. Still got wood in it. And thus more boxes of dirt were born. Good news. Well, the other good news is it's not that far. It's not really that far at all. It isn't. And we can have, like, a sick waterfall here that you'll have to, like, pass through. And we'll make something that blocks it. Yeah, we'll have a button that'll make the waterfall go away, and then we'll be able to access the canal, and it'll be a huge secret waterfall. This is exactly the same as Intently Thinking About Boats. Anyway, it won't take too long. We're not going to finish it today. It is, however, a big, silly project, and those are my favorite kind. But anyway, we're armed now with enough boxes to put a box of dirt down, and even more importantly than the box of dirt, armed with an idea. Yeah. I mean, not much of one. The idea is technically hit a bunch of dirt and then stone and then make a bunch of water there because you like rivers and stuff. It's the same as thinking about a boat. It is. Oh, we got a little thunderstorm. Oh no, the turtles. I don't know if they'll be safe. We're gonna have to just sleep. Turtles can definitely be struck by lightning. And, you know, we just found Donatello not too long ago. Which was glorious. Alright, we totally don't need to destroy any more of this. Besides this right here. And because these are boxes of dirt, they should be placed, you know, inconspicuously at memorable points in projects. So that if you ever need your dirt again, that's where you can find it. You never know when you're going to need a lot of dirt. How many boxes of dirt could you need? Unknown. I do know that if this was sand, I would definitely find a use for it, somehow. I am always running out of sand. It's because I turn too much into glass and then I leave the glass in boxes places. I know why I run out of it. The thing is, though, is I guess we should get back to the boat before too long. I do love this project mainly because this project, not the boat project, because it is gonna fulfill my dream of, you know, playing around with waters some more. I love the water mechanics. It's also fun to dig, you know. Sure, it's very good to plant wheat and to destroy your enemies and hear the lamentations of the skeletons as you take their arrows away. This is all very excellent, not trying to dispute that, never would. But it's also just pretty nice to dig sometimes. silly, but like really I just wanted to play some Minecraft in the hardcore world because I'd been staying away since I started the boat because I was like, you know, afraid of the monster I was creating. I was like, it's never gonna be what I want it to be, but it occurred to me, you know, that I could just make it something else. So that's what we'll do. A less restrictive boat archetype, a boat that will be as boaty as it wants to be, or slightly less, depending on its desires. You never want to overpromise to a boat. They're very, very long-memoried creatures. And I think we can do this without breaking in to the deep dark. Probably. I don't know if it extends all the way over here. Actually, I do know it does, but I don't know if it goes this way. Man, this song's so good. Could be the best song in the game. There's a lot of contenders for that. I'm only full of popular Minecraft opinions, you know, like the music's good, and planting wheat is obviously a thing all people aspire to do. A lot of mainstream opinions. I've even got some wheat here. Not a lot. I mean, 12K. I mean, it's some wheat, right? But with what we've picked up to, it's really only like 8K, which is barely any wheat. We've got a couple of nice little things, you know. We've got a little island of wheat, and defending my my fidelity to the cause of wheat, as if I need more proof than I've already given the world. But so we'll just dig a bit more, I guess, and then we'll mend up our tools some, and then maybe actually get a little boaty. Because I'm thinking, right, this is going to be really groundbreaking, that we'll just put some wood on top of the other wood, and then so on, and then when there's enough room to move around, we'll put wood on top of that wood too. And before I know it, it'll be sort of boaty, and then we'll get like a boat's cat, and then it'll have to be a ship because it's a ship's cat. Isn't that what you call it? Is that the difference? You're not allowed to have a cat on a boat like a submarine, but if it's a ship you can. I hope that's what it is. That's what I'm gonna go with. But we'll need to dig this canal kind of deep. And we might end up doing, like, you know... Well, the thing is the sides are pretty sheer, so all we need to do is a ton of work to make it look good. But if we don't do it too wide, you know... It doesn't need to be too much wider than most points here, but we will need to fluctuate a little bit, which we'll be able to do more, you know, everything going inside, you know, you just drop sand and to widen it at some point and then do like a bit of an overhang. Also, obviously a thing we could figure out. I've dug a hole in Minecraft before. I don't mean to brag or show off about my expertise, but sometimes I, dig so far they don't let me dig anymore. Oh, the first time I did that, oh, I was perturbed. I was like, oh, I wanted to keep on going. I was very excited to dig down. Hey, Road Steve, how are you? Oh, it's going well. We're intently thinking about boats, and by that I mean digging a canal to connect. Well, it's easier to show. So we have a pre-existing ocean over here. We're working on a boat, but I've never really done one. You can see it over here. It's not much. Anyway, but because technically this will count as thinking about boats, we're going to dig to connect that area there. That's quite a large ocean. And then here, because this is like a pre-existing thing that leads, you know, to much more water in the vast distance. And this lake I made, you know, we made all of this. But I figured we could do here, and then I'm gonna, you know, we're gonna dig through all of this along this beam. I'm gonna gesture broadly in front of my face. That'll be helpful. And then over here where this waterfall is, we're going to build like some sort of machine thing to turn on like water dispensers. So that there'll be like a secret waterfall that you can turn on and off, you know, mainly keep on. And that's the plan. We're digging because I don't know how to build a boat. I've never done it before. I was gonna build like a sort of historically accurate bireme, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, that won't work. These dimensions are all wrong. But I just decided to build just like a boat instead. Just, you know, any boat. Hello, hello. Right now we're digging, but we're about to get on that boat thing. The title, it's not like a bait and switch. This digging is boat related. No, I'm the worst. I can never, ever be honest to my title. I'll be playing like Diablo. It'll be like Act 1. I'll be playing 5 hours later. The title's the same. But we are thinking about boats. In fact, I do mention them frequently enough to where the title, because it doesn't say today we're going to build a boat. I mean, we might build part of it. I mean, the good news is we have quite good tools, right? It's not like it takes an eternity. The other good news is I like doing this. To me, talking to myself while we dig in Minecraft is like the height of elegance. Like, this is a great way for me to spend my time, in my opinion. What have I done? Tapped out weird. Got it. Really, we should try to work on the boat soon, because this part's so much fun, and if we do too much of it, then, you know. It reminds me of the building of the Great Canal, only, of course, that was much more focused, and much larger in scale, although, like, this will probably comprise as many blocks. But, you know, the Great Canal, though we only intended to use it once, of course, the the arc of reincarnation bent long for the mooshes before we got them back home. Flicking the mouse cursor around and just deleting a whole bunch of dirt or sand or something. Ah, what a feeling. It's so different than like when you start out and it takes time to do it. It's the real power creep, right? Dirt clearing speeds. Because you don't have to spend like any time on it. Even at F4 you gotta spend a little. This shovel is about to break. Not like right now, but soon we need to go mend it. That'll be a good medium point, right? How am I going to activate the waterfall mechanism? Probably just with a lever. We're gonna hook like a lever up to, you know, like some redstone and then flick the lever, I imagine. Although, if there's a cooler mechanism I could think of, I would try to do that. You know, I don't know much about the stuff. But like with a bunch of help from some other people who were watching, you know, like this gate'll open, right? If we're riding across, it'll hit this and then it like opens the gate and then we get to the other side and it'll, you know, that kind of thing. That's like the only switch that opens a thing I've ever made. But theoretically, you know, you can just walk up to a door and press a button or whatnot. Because really, it, you know, it's not to fool anyone, it's just to look awesome. Alright, we need some wood. No, there should be some in a box over here that should be cunningly placed in the water. There are standards. You know, every job site should have a bunch of boxes in the water, or in water if there's no water available. Waterlog it, you know, with your materials. Very important. Alright, so from here we can just, well, say we go one wider here, that's fine, still on the base. And then we can start because really alright, so let's just think about it. Not too much though. Alright, so like a 4-meter draft. Or block, if you're American. A 4-block draft, because blocks are the units we're using here. What's a meter, right? I mean, the beam probably shouldn't be too much more than this. It doesn't matter. Why am I acting like this matters? By which I mean to say that if the proportions of the boat are slightly off from what you would want to make a wooden boat of, that'll be okay. It does not need to go anywhere. I'm not telling you, I'm reminding myself. You might also think, why is that necessary? God, I don't know why. I don't know why I gotta tell myself these things. They seem obvious, don't they? It's a fake boat. You don't need to worry about how big it is. Alright, let's keep on building this boat. What we want here is just, yeah, to get like so. Because we want more width there, but there's no particular desirability in making the width there more. And now we can do this like one more time. And, you know, yeah. And this will give just like so much room for activities. No. All right. Okay, and from here, this is... No, it doesn't give you a ton of room on deck to walk around, which is fine. Here, we could do like a level... Well, because, like, alright, so the hold here doesn't need to have anything in it. Fine. And then this level will need to be one taller. You won't even be able to hop a little bit. Sure, that'd be like 9-foot ceilings, but sorry, 3 block ceilings if you're not an American. But it's better than just having 2 block ceilings, even though like a 2-meter thing would be more reasonable. Yeah, we'll do another. It's gonna be a ridiculous contraption, this ship is. We might have to plant some more trees. You know, the dimensions are getting away from us. This is not terribly a surprise to me. But, you know, look, we're not worrying about it. It's not a problem. We're just gonna wing it. That's a thing people can do. You know, you could just decide it'll be fine and build a boat about it. And if you can't, well, I don't know that yet. Yeah, because we can just do one thing below decks, and then we can have like a top deck, you know, and then maybe like a cabin thing, or you know, like a forecastle, sort of whatever. We don't need to go too much higher out of the water. This is already like, I mean, I guess it's not terribly cartoonishly out of dimension. We need to find out how to train these little dudes. We are almost out of rockets. This is not ideal. Alright, and now we've traded with them. And they might be hitting their job blocks like really soon, and if they do, they might their stuff back. Of course, lots of ways to get experience, but selling these guys pork, one of the great ones. That guy finally leveled up, and he can get raw beef and raw mutton as well. Oh, good news. Yeah, there we go. Gets, you know, the bow into at least somewhat respectable shape. Not the bow, the shovel. Hey, Evan, my man, what's up? How goes it? Hope you're feeling well. We're gonna want to fight through this night. Do we need to cull this herd some? Oh, no, we shouldn't be getting too much cram in here. The old sleep schedule. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it's messed up in a way that's still working for you. Yeah, no, I grabbed some new games in the Steam sale, because, you know, with only 1,000 games, what I need is more games. But got a couple. I got Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which I've heard wonderful things about. I don't know anything about it really, other than that, you know, it's a game that I was supposed to play when it came out, and I didn't. And I got Katamari Damacy Reroll, which, if you're not familiar, Katamari Damacy is a game that came out like whenever I was in high school. But you're you have got a little ball. You're a prince of the cosmos, and you roll up stuff into the ball. So you roll around like a house, and you'll pick up, you know, like, you know, thumbtacks or whatever. And then as you get more mass, you can pick up more things. I've been wanting to play it for a while, and it finally was on sale when I noticed it. Got some games to your Switch. Awesome, awesome. You been playing them yet? Sometimes I'll buy a game and then not play it. I hate when I do that. I don't usually do it for consoles anymore, because console games tend to be expensive, right? Yeah, we barely have any gunpowder. We are definitely going to want to fight through the night. Oh man, you know, it'll be okay. Is it theoretically possible that I have rockets somewhere else? I mean, theoretically. But we need to grow some more trees. Do we? I mean, maybe. Definitely need to look in a box and see if I put gunpowder in a box somewhere. Oh, Mr. Pump. Why would I put gunpowder in these boxes? And yeah, that doesn't mean we don't have any of them. I don't think we have any of them. You know, when you look at it, it's not really that many ender pearls, is it? I feel like I should have more. You know, they're probably in some other boxes somewhere. It's hard to say. Anyway, why are we in here? We don't need to be in here. We were waiting for night to fall? That doesn't make sense either. We can go do something and night will happen anyway. 8 rockets is enough. We have arrows. 60 is enough. I mean, probably. Birch. You can do pale oak. Equally good. And we'll do the dreaded slab, right? Because that'll let us have a little more headroom too. If we do like top slabs, it's got to be top slabs or you can't build on them. Right, right. Alright. It's too jarring. Yeah, it's too bright. That's too bright, yeah. We'll try birch. It's a fine look. I actually kind of want to make, like, a creepy ghost-looking ship now. Like, a lot I do. We can do, like, you know, like a dark oak undercurrent thing, and then, like, big, scary, white, ship coming out with, like, I don't know, black and pink sails. Very intimidating. We need birch. But we can't get it right now. That is okay. We're just going to put all the stuff into the box and then go... If only there's a stonecutter, but for wood. You know, I know stonecutters exist. I even know what they're for. I've used them, too, but I usually don't. I made a super long time ago, back, you know, back before I became who I am today, you know. Before I had even planted wheat, I had a stonecutter thing. Because there's a couple, like, when you make stairs, right? Stairs is the one where it's a lot more efficient, but... And then, you know, I guess the Fletchers have their silly little table, but that's not, you know, hardly promising. Alright. Clean. Just like in the simulations. I am glad it's raining, though. Gotta love the rain sounds. One of the best genres of sound effects in the whole world is the rain. Fictional and real sound effects. And you might think, is it still a sound effect if it's real? Well, I'd argue that's when it's most like a sound. But, like, you know, sometimes in life it's the little things. Like, the rain was super annoying to me growing up because it meant that I was going to have to go out in the rain, you know, to get my goat so that I could milk it and stuff, which was a huge hassle because goats are stubborn creatures just like people are and don't like walking in the rain sometimes just like people don't. But, like, the shed where we milked the goat at, it had, you know, this roof, and the rain just sounded so good when it fell on it. So, you know, even in the midst of my my pretty significant annoyance, you know, there was still something nice. Oh no. I mean, not like for my life. I'm just like because we're gonna lose the we lost the gunpowder. The thing about being me is I'm so tough that for all of that, we did, like... I'm like, we actually need to heal, though. Oh, goodness. Alright. He had a spear. We barely took any damage, and then the little guys showed up, and I didn't notice for a bit. Anyway, not as good of a night as it could have been. Wow, it's so much lighter now. I guess the sun's about to come up, too, in-game, but... got jump scared in real life. Oh no. I was hanging out with my friends outside and you know, just shooting the breeze and all. One of the neighbor kids was plinking at targets with like an air rifle, you know, like a BB gun type of thing, pellet gun. Anyway, he had to like pump it up, you know, just a little piddly thing, and he wasn't like super far away. We could still like see his reaction to what happened next. And then like there were some sirens, you know, like police, whatever, you know, just guns. You know, it happens. But the way that he looked like so freaked out immediately, like, I didn't do it. Even though he's like in the middle of his yard. And there was no it to have been done. Looked around like he's like, is anybody like pointing at me on the phone? But you know, I do live in city limits, but I still also live in Arkansas. It's just funny that the kid thought that they would be coming for him. Certainly not against the rules to shoot a pellet gun, let alone the laws. But I can relate. I often feel very guilty whenever I hear a siren going, and then it's like a fire truck, right? Like, why? Explain to me why. Later, Evan. Thanks for stopping in. It's good to see you. All right. No, not again. You really fooled me with that juke. Got one right here. Mind the drop. There we go. Clean shot. Proud of that one. Never should have come here. .48 gunpowder on the night? Awesome. A chicken jockey! Buongiorno! Do we get an achievement for throwing it into a lava pool? I've already got one. Does that dude have a lance? Like, do I need to be afraid of dudes with lances now? It doesn't seem like they do much damage. Of course, I got perfect armor. Might be able to get one more little burst of creepers before the night ends. And one of these days, we're going to need to bring some of the dirt we've collected and fill in some of these holes. One of them. Like maces, the faster you are, the more nears you. Ah! That's why whenever I tried to stab something with them whenever I was standing still, it didn't do anything. Yeah. So, like, you get an elytra, and then you just dive into something. Try to, like, one-shot the wither. It's the boss. Good dog. Well, we've already got birch slabs. I don't think we need too much regular birch, but as the accent on top of the spruce, we can try oak also, just for the color. Hey, Minikman, how's it going? We're working on the boat. I mean, barely, but still some. Fencing we can create. Oh, yeah. the whole reason we did that. Alright. A very fruitful night, getting us more than 2 full stacks of rockets. Good, good, good. Now into the box of junk we will place the things that we put into such boxes. You know, maybe we'll never ever go into the basement again, but it's nice to have a box that gets rid of all of this stuff. We could just throw it away, but you know, it's better to keep it. Aw, couldn't stick the landing. Pathetic. Yeah, much better. The white was too jarring. But we can definitely do one. You know, we might do it like in a hidden cove, right? Teaming with Axolotl to defend it. I like this idea already. And then we'll need to do like a trapdoor thing where you can walk down to the next level. We might just trim... Oh, nope, you can't because of the construction of the boat. Well, we've got a little headroom. We can go one higher. But, no, you know, not being able to jump but a little bit is fine. And honestly, this sort of, you know, 6.5... No, it's 2.5 blocks, so it'd still be, you know, 2.5 meters, but yeah. Just enough room to hop a little bit makes more sense for the interior of a ship of this size anyway. You know, we wouldn't even have to duck to walk through a doorway. Or we're not... Our character being only almost 2 meters tall. Alright, so because this wood is good, we're going to need more of it. And you might think, wouldn't you just have like a ton of birch? No, actually. I'm not like super crazy about it as a wood type, so I tend to neglect it overall. We'll just... Like, I want to find somewhere that I'm not going to mess up by taking some. Guess we can always replant, right? You know, that's a thing. We'll go to this old growth one, because that is the fast way to do it. Yeah, I don't love the logs either. In real life, birch trees are pretty because they're so interesting, right? They're weird and flaky. You know, you're questioning if it's really a tree. But here they look sort of, you know, cow-like. Bovine is the word when you look like a cow does. No, not really. That's the word to describe a cow. Alright, that's a bunch of logs. If we just get, like, some more, then that'll be enough. And then we can replant the trees and be on our way. Will they grow up tall if you plant them in an old growth forest, or does you have to do special things? Because, like, for the spruce trees, right, you just plant them in a 2x2 and they'll grow tall no matter where you grow them. But, like, this is an old growth birch forest biome, which I knew because they're tall, and you knew because they're tall. It also was one that we generated before the leaf litter update, unless it doesn't exist in there. But, of course, this world is a little old now, so now I feel like how... I remember when I played and people would talk about, you know, the way things were, or how, like, they had to go so far in their world to find some new whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And now I'm like, huh, I guess if we want to see, like, what a place is like now, you know, we have to go pretty far. Like, I want a cold pig and a warm pig super badly, but not badly enough to find where they are. Because once we get them, we're still going to have to bring them home, too, right? And we can't even, like, nether travel. It's not good for pigs. You're a kid, you have the luck eyes. Oh no! Don't cut down that tree. But, because we're gonna do, you know, we're gonna canal this up, but, you know, more like river, right? Because this is a pre-existing river, and we're gonna try to keep it, like, in the scope and spirit of it. But, you know, we did some digging there already. More to come. And then here we want to do, like, a secret waterfall, where it looks like a big waterfall, but then you can turn it off and then see the way in. And then inside here, Pirate Cove. And you might be thinking, that doesn't make sense. Well, we'll make it make sense. There's also a deep dark down there. We don't have to worry about it. Throw this disc in to be a message in a bottle. Six of the wood for that. Well, then a dark oak trapdoor is not happening. We need lanterns. Obviously not like unburdened torches. Ugh. Hitting the slab angle from above is pretty annoying. Like, where did we even keep coal? Guess we don't have any? I mean, we have to have some somewhere. Oh yeah, inside of a furnace. We turned it into blocks and then we put it in a furnace. And you make torches first? Oh right, and we can make copper lanterns and soul lanterns for the creepy ship. Love it. Alright, so some of these, a lot of those. There are spiders on top of my boat. Alright, good news. Now you can see the boat, which is now, I guess, like a barge, right? Yeah, it's just, you know, it's like a coastal barge, which you know, it moves using magic, and it's mainly, you know, mainly just like a pleasure cruise thing, you know, not like an overnight thing, you know, you just go out for the day and bring it back. Just park it next to the island with all the zombies on it. But hey, it's significantly boatier than it was at any point in the past. I was like, why am I taking damage now? Wearing the elytrum. That'll get you. Well, it actually could get me if I ever let it really happen, because I'm quite accustomed to not taking damage. Alright. You know... we will have to do something about them. Alright, we just need the floor there in the middle to be level, right? There we go. That'll make it much more spacious. Totally unnecessary layer removed. And it gives it a nice sort of like, looks like a delicious cookie, you know, structure. Alright. You know, it's coming along. I think it looks nice. It's not enough. We're gonna need more pale oak. We don't really have a good source of that. We're gonna have to travel kind of far and wide to get it once we run out. Yeah, you know, it's coming together. It's coming together a little bit. Not like well. Good so far. The contrast of the white fence is, you know, you can probably barely see it if it's not like a screen this big, right? But I think it's nice. I think it'll look okay, you know, eventually. Right now, it is, of course, very haphazard. I guess landing on the ship every time is an okay way to get in, but we do need to have, you know, a sort of loading dock thing built where you could walk out and, you know, like get on the deck, preferably with security measures. Alright, now zombies can't get in unless they jump in. We'll work on it. It's slightly better than nothing. And that's where the water rushes in. You know, this, yeah, another level of the stairs here would be good, depending on how the water shows up with them, right? Oh, perfect. Yeah, we'll be able to trim the inside, and it's going to look like, you know, the shape of an actual hole. Where it's not going to be so jarring when it comes up out of the water. Cool. I'm learning. I mean, not really. This isn't learning. I could have paid attention to everything else we've done before now and applied it. But, I mean, I guess application of knowledge is kind of like learning too. Whoops. You have to be in the upper half of it. Yeah, awesome, wonderful. In all other ways, very good. You know, we should probably replace these with dark oak also. Hey, Neo, what's up? How goes it? We're working on this boat. It almost even kind of looks like a boat now, you know. I'm not going to lie. I'm very pleased. We abandoned the earlier plans for a design, and we just decided to kind of wing it. And again, although no one's asking me to defend myself, I don't like say stuff like "we did this" in normal life. Just a literary affectation for my my internet persona. No, sometimes I say like "we" at work, well, I'm like "we messed up," but what I mean is they messed up. If I messed up, I just say I messed up. But it's nobody's business who messed up. Unless it's me, and then I'll just tell them. But careful listeners can always tell if it's me or not if I try to spread the blame around. Alright, well, great. What now? Well, we need a way to get down into the deck. And deck will then, and then you know we'll need like a prow on it too, obviously. So we get rid of the symmetry here, and then somewhere in like the center-ish, right, we'll get like some trapdoors that open to stairs, ladders, anyway, something like that. Well. Wow, we've got a lot of junk in this inventory, don't we? Well, I know just where we can take it. To the junk chest at home, where all junk ultimately goes. Ogatai is doing good in fine form. We're just gonna drop the old eggs off where they belong. Alright, so next on the boat we flesh out a proper way to get inside, seal off the front, and try to build like a nice prow there, and then we're going to need to build like a nice sculpture on the front out of bronze to symbolize, you know, our power and fighting spirit to ram opposing, you know, coastal barges if they get in the way. What's the smallest I can make a statue of Garuda? Because all the better if we just have like little battering rams shaped like chickens that are, you know, in the image of the boss on all of the ships. Alternately, we'll need to figure out how to design a flag that looks like Garuda's face. A chicken's head on a dark background. The Dark Oak crime family. I was gonna stream slightly earlier, but I got roped into watching Kung Fu Hustle by myself, not by anybody else, because I saw a clip on YouTube where we are now, and I was like, oh man, I actually can't say no to that movie anytime I see a clip of it. I am just like, all right, I guess we're just watching Kung Fu Hustle now. If you haven't seen Kung Fu Hustle, it's totally bonkers. It's the most fun kung fu movie. It's not really a kung fu movie. It pretends to be one sometimes. Don't really know how to describe it. I would fail. A series of escalating encounters. The problem is, of course, that this section is going to look super straight unless we do something about, you know, the aspects of it. But, you know, this will be the test. Can we pass? I mean, probably not. We'll have to clear all of this anyway, right? It's just we're seeing right now that this will be a very jarring, clearly artificial stretch unless we do a bunch of work for it. But I'm thinking actually what we can do for a lot of it is we can like sit little houses into the side, and then we can create like little fishing village thing, right? Where they've got little like houses on stilts. I think that could be cool. Trying to come up with ways where this won't look as crummy when I'm done, if I'm ever done. If I'm ever done. But that's the thing about a dig like this, you know, when you set out to dig a whole bunch of blocks, you don't think about how long it's going to take. Don't ever do that. Just think about how nice each individual block is to get rid of. Anybody can get rid of one line of blocks. And then before you know it, you're so close to your goal. Trust me, I built a canal several thousand blocks to bring the mooshes home safely. And then, when that didn't happen, I rebuilt the canal 2 more times until they actually got home safely. Now, that wasn't for, like, aesthetics. And there's no reason to think this will be that aesthetic when we're done, but it'll be another thing to be proud of. Look at that, I'll say, pointing to the obviously artificial feature. I made that. Boat-related things. Everything. So we are connecting this river, a pre-existing river, and we're digging through this sort of valley system here and through this and over here to connect it with the ocean proper. And then we're going to make a secret waterfall right here so that you can't tell that it's, you know, got a thing behind it, and we're gonna like come up with a way to turn it off and on. But the main project is we've been working on this boat. I think you can tell already that I've never built one before. Yeah, obviously it's not gonna go anywhere. But yeah, you know, we just had some in the water. I was gonna make like a bireme, like a Phoenician type of thing, right? But I thought more about it, and I was like, I don't know how, and it's gonna look terrible. So instead I was like, why don't we just make generic nondescript boat, and then maybe it'll still be good after all of that. Oh no, all of those are full of cobblestone. What'll we do? Put stuff in the wrong boxes? Yes. That is what we'll do. Good idea. seed for Garuda. Well, we're actually gonna go ahead and end this video here. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of laundry. And then we should be back for another video to end the night. I don't know what I'm gonna play. I think we're probably gonna play Islets though. And see what we can find on that final island that we just got to. But I invite you all to sit, stand, or kneel to the national anthem of the Dark Oak crime family. Me and Luca will dance. Pick Step by Linda Rain. This is a project we're not going to be able to see from here at all. Even right there, yeah, it's going to be invisible. The boat won't show up from here either. That's all fine, you know. We had to eventually do something that we couldn't see here. I still love my lake. You can't even see most of the lake, of course, because of this, but what a good lake. But anyway, that's all I've got for you right now here. Really hope you've enjoyed. You know, it's been a little while. Like I said earlier in the video a couple times, I was staying away because I thought the boat would be terrible and not what I wanted. But I was only right about the second part. The boat's not going to be terrible. The boat's going to be awesome. And it's only not what I wanted because what I wanted wasn't, you know, reasonable. Why don't I try to build a few boats before I try to build a historically accurate boat that won't look good? It turns out when you only have, like, meter blocks to do stuff with, you can't really do everything that you dream of. But that's okay. But I think it'll eventually look nice. It already is fine, you know? It's recognizably going to be a boat, and that's good. And we can add, you know, like a little forecastle type thing. It's like that little zombie down there. I think he's just running around and being a menace. I don't think he's gonna mess with Hank the cow dog. That's good. But anyway, I'm gonna swap over some laundry and then I'll be back, you know, streaming something to round out the night before too long, and maybe I'll see you guys there. If you're watching in the future, disregard all of that. Hope the weather's nice. But I'll see you guys later. Later, Minicman. Later, Neo. Redwood Steve. John Agnome. Evan, I think you already left. But yes, wonderful to see you all. And yeah, like I said, I think we're going to be putting Islets on in, just like 5 minutes probably. And running around in there. So maybe I'll see you then. All right. Later, guys.